Lush Uno, back with another installment. Y'all already know what it is. If you don't know, now you know, you know. I got to give the censored version, and if you know the uncensored version, you know why. Although we are keeping it juicy. Pause. With that being said, in the 51st year of hip-hop, it's already going up in the Big Apple. If you haven't been familiar with the Bronx drill scene, you either sleeping under a rock or you might be around my age, because a lot of the audience that are subscribed and tuned into this channel are a little bit older and are not quite familiar with the ongoings. But a star in the Bronx drill movement, DTHANG, was just released. I feel like every time I'm a fan of his music. I love the record scene. There's a lot of joints of his. He's one of my favorite young artists out in New York these past several years. I put him up there with Didi Osama, with Kyle Rich. There's a lot. I rock with a lot of Coach the Ghost. There's a lot of fools that I rock with in New York. My boy Henry Hennessy. There's like abundance of talent, but I rock with K-Flock as well, who is oddly enough a main op, a top op and rival of DTHANG's, but also his own cousin, even though K-Flock's mama denied ever being related or knowing him. So it's a little bit confusing. The lines are obscured a bit there. He calls her auntie. I don't know. It's done in a derogatory way. I don't know what the deal is. Regardless, I always felt like I needed to pause the name DTHANG. It's just like, no offense. I love his music, but the name is rather pause-worthy. Regardless of that, DTHANG just got released. For those who don't know, he's from the River Park Towers apartments in the Bronx. They were I believe it was February of last year, there was a 34 people indictment that were caught up, DTHANG being one of them. He was just released to quite a bit of fervor and fanfare. His main rival, who I mentioned earlier, K-Flock, is still locked up, but here's the crazy news that went down today. He is now officially signed to French Montana's Coke Boys ENT. Now, that is a huge power play. Respect to the older generation of New York, or, they're not the older, but someone of an elder to this generation getting involved. I'm seeing a lot of people putting on the youth. I found out when I was interviewing Juelz Santana on No Jumper last year that he is actually the uncle of Didi Osama, which is crazy. And Didi Osama is going up right now. There's a lot of talent going up, but him getting signed to Coke Boys is crazy. Here's my only commentary on it, and here's what I got to say. Although French Montana has had an incredibly successful career and seems to be a very real dude, there is this dark cloud surrounding him. I mean, it seems like everybody that he associates with on a close level dies or goes to prison. Look at Max B. He's been fighting a hot one. And obviously, that's not French Montana's fault, you know what I mean? But Chinx Drugs, who was the right-hand man of French Montana, and one of my favorite rappers, very underrated rapper, holding it down from Queens, passed away. R.I.P. Chinx. He passed away, I want to say it was around 2015, I want to say he passed away, 16, but it was 14 even. It was somewhere around that time, but it was rather horribly tragic death way before his times, as well as another guy that they both associated with, who was another huge talent, Stack Bundles. So Stack Bundles dying. You got Max B, who's still, is he in a rehab center now, a halfway house, or is he still locked? I'm not sure with the current status of Big Bell. The wave, but it's always free the wave and free the other wave, free the wave Sue Surf. I don't know what the status is, but he's been out the game and incarcerated for many, many moons now. And the death of Stack Bundles, was it smart for DTHANG to sign this deal? I don't know. I always feel like that there's this weird energy surrounding French Montana. Is it some, I don't want to put on my tinfoil hat, some weird Illuminati sacrifice thing he got going on? Who the fuck knows? What are your thoughts? Am I on point? Am I smoked out? Are y'all excited to see what DTHANG is finna do next? He's already got the city on fire. Who we gonna see him collab with? Are we gonna see the Ice Spice collab? I don't know. Are we gonna see him collabing with other drill rappers? You know, shouts to everybody in the Bronx drill scene, regardless of affiliation. You feel me? Shy EK, Use G's, you feel me? Shaw G's, there's so much talent out there in the Bronx. Again, like, you know, I'm not involved in the internal politics, nor do I want to be, but this is music industry news, and I want to know what y'all thoughts are. Like, share, subscribe, run it up. It's a lush world. It's a lush world. You got a hush, girl. You got a hush, girl.